so too? No, I ain't say that. So how come you're gonna give all this negative, nothing? You ain't gonna put something positive? You're gonna just make it something like and then all the negative you saying, you making it negative, but I already discussed these things with her prior to you trying to put salt in the game, planting death. So these things are not negative things. You changed it to something negative. So that's why everybody gotta always be up to speed on what's going on. Because if they start bringing stuff out that the other one don't know about, it's gonna be a big old mess, and we're gonna sit there, we're gonna be looking like the dummy. Like Boo Boo the fool or Boo Boo the clown, whichever one.
Fool the clown.
Right? We're gonna be, that's why I say, you know what? You might say, you know what? I think I'm interested in such and such. Was it blah, blah? Okay, yeah, okay, I'm interested in blah, blah, such and such. Well, did he tell you such and such? Yeah, he told me. Well, did he tell you? Yeah, he told me that too. Okay, well, we can't catch him. Huh? Did she tell you such and such? Well, how you come you gonna tell such and such? Now they get a little, the women get a little, like, because we can't talk about stuff like that to men. That's their code word. Be like, it wasn't none of your business. We really didn't want to put you up on game. Well, can't we talk about stuff amongst ourselves without you knowing? Yeah, we can, but not this. Some stuff you can, some stuff you can't. If it's pertinent to me, and knowing it or not knowing it can be detrimental to me, I should know about it. How about that? You know what I'm saying? So now, but the point is that everything got to be upfront and apparent. That way, if anybody does come and try to bring that what? If anybody does come and try to shed that innocent blood, these are all literal things and benefits. Don't mean that the Most High mean that He hates it when you go and shoot an innocent person. The tongue. James said you kill more people with the tongue. You should, by your tongue, you talking death, and be very conscious of it. What am I sowing about this person right now? And is this what I want to reap? If I don't want to reap it, it ain't going to come out my mouth because it's going to come back to you. The Most High says He is not mocked in Galatians chapter 7, verse 6. He said, be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So that we put out there, we're going to reap it. Okay? Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to the flesh, right, shall of the flesh reap what? Corruption. That corruption is over here when it talks about that, when it talks about shedding that blood, that death. That's all it's talking about, that negativity. Because death don't shed that innocent blood. If you sit back and feed somebody, like some people might do in prison, when you feed somebody that ground up glass a little bit every day, a little bit every day, a little bit every day, that person gonna die. That person will guaranteed die without even knowing why they died. Little small laceration, next thing they coughing up blood, they gonna die. You see? So the scripture says, so you shedding that innocent, don't mean like a sudden murder. It can be any aspect of you doing something to take life away from somebody, and you know what you do in your words would lead unto death. That's why even now, when I say something about somebody, I really try to frame my words as if that person is sitting right next door to me. Right next to me, like right here. Like you might have a brother where you're like, man, he always running his mouth and you know what he's talking about, man. You might say to him, well, when he talk, I listen to him, but like with everybody, you got to filter what's being said sometimes to make sure that what they're saying matches your interpretation of what they're saying. And if not, you have to be able to ask a question to make sure that you get the right interpretation of what they really meant, so they can tell you more clearly. As opposed to your nigga be running about the English when you talk about half the time. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what you're talking about, meaning he's saying something that you don't understand, or he don't understand, or that's not true. So they gotta ask him, are you sure this happened? Blah, blah, blah. You gotta run it through that filter. That's all you're saying. Just say it in a way to where the person is right there. The person is right there. So it says that, where we at now? Galatians. He said, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. The Most High tell you that if you want life in your relationship, in your walk with the Most High, Yahweh Shai, stop sowing into the flesh. And what? But he that soweth to the Spirit You got to sow each fruit to the Spirit. Shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So everything you plant have to be sown in the Spirit, and know that this is going to lead you to everlasting life. Okay? But let us not, this is the problem, but let us not be weary in well-doing. Nah, man, I've been trying this for 2 weeks, man. It don't even work, bro. Nah, man, it don't even work. I ain't with this. You can't give up. The scripture says you can't faint in well-doing. But let us not be weary in well-doing. For in due season we shall reap if we faint not. You cannot be weary in doing that well. You can't give up. You have to turn over a new leaf. You have to become, a new creature. You might be like, well, I'm used to doing X, Y, Z, but the X, Y, Z line up with the X, Y, Z line up between Genesis and Revelation. If you don't line up with Genesis and Revelation, you gotta let it go. Okay? You gotta let it go. Okay? He says, as we therefore have opportunity, that means every chance you get, what? Let us do good unto all men. Include the ones that's closest to you. Do good to everybody, especially them who are of the household of faith. I mean, especially believers. Even more so a believer that I'm married to. Even more so a believer that brought me into this world. Even more a believer that I brought into the world. Let us do good unto them and not be weary in doing it. This is what the Most High is saying to us, that we have to do. These things, now we already read what happens when we refuse wisdom. Say you're going to laugh at us. You're going to laugh at us. When our calamity comes upon us, the scripture of wisdom is going to laugh. Okay? So we have to make sure that we planted things that we want to reap. Okay? And that when these things get reaped, that they're going to be undeveloped. So the more you plant life into your own household, guess what? The more life you're going to have in your own household. But you planted it first. And when you plant it, you're going to reap that hard, but you can't stop. You can't get tired in doing this well. Satan and Hashatan will come, this don't work, this is bad. She playing you, he playing you, they playing you. You playing yourself for a sucker. You just being dumb. You don't got to take this. You better than this. Blah, 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 so on and so forth, right? The scripture says, Paul said that I know how to be brought down low. I know how to be brought high. Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of one, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am in, therewith to be content. Yeah. I know both how to be abased and know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach who strengthens me. So we take that just for the good. The scripture says it's for the bad time we come through also. I can make it through this too. So if you can make it through that good, you can make it through the bad. If you can love that person through the good, you can love them through the bad. If you can look at that person in the eye and express your feelings, your deep feelings respectfully, positively in the good, you can do it in the bad also. And then be respectful and be understanding of everybody. If you feel a certain way, learn how to speak and how to say that, in love. Okay, in love. Because the scripture says, once again in Galatians 6, it says, if any man be taken by in a fault, ye which are what? Spiritual. Restore such a one in the spirit of what? Meekness. Humility. Meaning, you can't check. Nobody can't check somebody else in the spirit of pride, because that's Satan getting his rocks off. That ain't the Holy Spirit. That's Satan getting his rocks off. That ain't the Holy. It's got to be done spiritually, and it's got to be done in meekness. If it's not planted in the spirit, it ain't going to grow in the spirit. It's going to, in the flesh, reap corruption. That's why you always got to take that situation and sow it back into the spirit. Well, you know what? You did this, but it actually helped. And it's a good thing because of X, Y, Z. 1, 2, 3. And back to where we started at. Right back to what? To that spirit of love. Okay? So it said what? In Philippians chapter 4, verse 12, he said, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Messiah who strengthens me. You see? So we got to be able to do everything through the Most High that strengthens us. Okay? He strengthens us. So we got to learn how to walk in that. Okay? And stay strong in that. Okay? And once we stay strong in that, then Hashatan can't come. We got to stand together now. The Most High said, what? It is not good for man to be alone. Let us make a what? A help. A woman. That's a help to him. So the woman is supposed to be helping the man with what she had, with what she brings to the table. The man, we've been bought with a price when we come to Yahweh Shai. And the woman been bought with a price too when she comes to the man. We belong to Yahweh Shai, and the woman belongs to the man. That's the way it is. We read in any of the Hebrew literature. When a man took a wife, he took the wife or whatever. That's why when you read, if y'all remember the Torah section, when there's the daughters of Tzalpakai, brother had like some daughters, and he was to get inheritance in the land of Israel, and he died before we got to the land. Well, they said, what about the daughters? Don't we preserve your land by our fathers? And they was from the tribe of Manasseh. They said, yeah, y'all get land from your fathers. Then they came and said, well, hold up. When we died, then the brothers, the older men, the elders came and said, well, hold up. If these two women are from the tribe of Manasseh, and they inherit this land, okay, and they have their sons, what happens if their husband they married is from the tribe of Gad? Who does that land go to? Well, it would go to the sons. The sons inherit the land. So would that not mean that the land that belonged to a man of Manasseh passed to his daughter of the tribe of Manasseh? Now she has Gadite sons. Is not that removing the inheritance of Manasseh and giving it into the hands of the tribe of Gad? And if that continues to happen, will not the inheritance of the tribe of Manasseh be totally occupied by other tribes, the tribe of Gad? And they say, yeah, you're right. So she can marry whatsoever man, whomever she will, if she inherited this land from her father, if she marries. But it must be from her father's tribe. If she has that land, and she's the inheritor of that land. And that's how it works. That she has to marry her tribe only if she inherits the land, and if she is going to be if her children, her husband got to be from that tribe. So that's the rule. Only if she inherits the land, and she decides to get married. But once she decides to get married, that man got to be from the tribe of Manasseh also. Because if he's not from Manasseh, if he's from Manasseh, they would have no problem. The Manasseites are still occupying that same land. So the reason we say this is because the husband and the son were the primary parties to consider when it came to who this land is going to go to. Because her husband automatically has full right and reign and rulership over that property, over that territory. Go ahead. What's up?
Would that be food animals property?
Kind of. So she automatically, and also if we more quickly going into the section for inheritance, she would inherit that land. You see, so the point we're making is that the woman has to understand that the Most High made the woman to help the man. But in America, unlike the early 1900s, okay, the woman is establishing herself because the society is set up to push the man out the picture and to establish herself, the woman, within the framework, but not being able to survive outside the framework of the American system that we have. In other words, there's no soil that needs to be tilled. There's no goats that need to be milked. There's no harvest that need to come in. There's no water that needs to be brought into the vat so we can have water. There's no water that needs to be boiled. There's not a whole lot of stuff to eat. Everything bing, 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 done. There's no real labor that we're doing now. The only thing we're doing is spending most of our time working for people to make money. And like I said on Shabbat, just give me 1 acre. All I need is 1 mic. Just give me 1 acre, that's it. I'm cool. 1 acre. If every family had 1 acre, man, you white people are going out their mind. Yeah, we live in a food oasis, except for we live back when, we have a food oasis. You know what I'm saying? We have, what do they call a food desert? They call a food oasis, but a food desert. Where we live at, where you don't have like a grocery store for like miles around. Mm-hmm. Like, and that should have made us think like, well, you know what, why don't we just plant our own stuff? Why don't we get like a root cellar? Why don't we plant our own stuff? Why don't we don't have to freeze our stuff? You know what I'm saying? So the point is that the Most High made the woman, and He made the woman to be a help. So the woman, first of all, the man has to have a mission for Yahweh. Once his mission is established, then it's his job, it's the job of his women and his whole family, his household, to support that mission, to support that dream. Our mission and dream does not stop here with telling people, with just keeping service. We have too much to do to be kind of reactionary. We got to be proactive. We have to establish how can we push this gospel further. How can we get Yahushua into the ears of more people and subsequently increase our odds of planting him into the hearts of more people? How can we have a more effective service or ministry for him, toward him? And then let's focus in and let's do that. Where around here don't we have, and what about all these little, you got this one and this one, all these towns that's an hour in each direction. Let's take an hour this Sunday, we're going to drive this direction. Matter of fact, let's start with the neighborhood. Let's have a deliberate, okay, every so-and-so day, we're going to walk through, we're going to tell the people, same thing. Yahushua, Yahweh, Sabbath service, this time, keep the commandments, you the children of Israel, man. I got one last week, here's another one this week. I got one the week before, here's another one this week too. So being consistent, but the man has to have a mission on what he's trying to do with his family. The mission can't just be enjoying life, sex, and working. There's got to be a bigger mission. There has to be a purpose that fits into. Yahushua gave us so many commandments of what we need to be doing. The poor, the widow, okay, the fatherless, the people in different nations, okay, the sick, those that are in prison. We have to fulfill his mandates. Amen. We have to do what he said to do. And it's up to each individual man. If this is what I need to do, what I'm going to do. For the Most High, actively, consistently, to make an impact on my heavenly resume. Remember, Yahweh said that. Yahweh said that he's going to render unto every man according to his works. Yes. According to what seeds did you plant and what did you reap? One man plant and one man. If that's your job, I'm going to just sow seeds to this whole neighborhood. I'm going to sow seeds to the whole North Kansas City North, whichever one it is. I'm going to sow seeds all up here. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to sow some seeds from Gentiles today. Jesus was my coming. A black man died for your sins. A black man died for the sins of the children of Israel. It was when John 3:16 is talking about my physical relative. Do you know that the commandments of the Most High are still valid up until today? That this government and this system, this church system, the religious system, has not been taught the truth of the Bible. You know that the people that came in the slave ships are the same people that was walking with Yahushua when he was on the earth? Do you know that you will not get into the kingdom by that sin is transgression of the law? And you have to keep the commandments and keep the law. You have to stop sinning. Sow seed wherever they need to be sown. Sow the seeds, man. And that's just one thing. You see? Now you got all these people adopting these children. People that's against the Bible. People that's against us. Adopting children that are just like us. Mm-hmm. Now knowing that the state gives you money, it ain't like there's no major financial burden because they give you money to help you raise the adopted children. That's right. It's like a win-win situation. You got the child where they belong, they're being taught this, and you got them saying, you know what, we'll help you, we'll give you X amount. Or you can just be a foster home, long-term or short-term, and embed in them, you an Israelite. Christ is like you. He died for your sins. We are his people. We got to obey the Bible, man. Don't let them fool you.
in the state of Kansas, any kid that you go to foster parenting class, it's kind of funny that the people who give them the class don't have the children, but let it ride, let them do what they taught, right? And then you get certified as a foster parent, right? If they give you a foster kid, they if you adopt a kid, they consider that kid a special child. I'm talking about Kansas. Well, with that kid being a special child, you get $400 a month extra, tax-free, for every kid that you take in. That's how each state's different. Each one of those kids fall in the category of special needs. So we have children that match our complexion, but we have a very low amount of people in our complexion adopting and reaching out to help these kids. So what's left is people who are not in our complexion snatching up the kids, not for love, making that money. I'll take 3 or 4. And they get all the help, and they get all the benefits, and they get all the grants and everything. So until we start engaging and saying, can I take one of these kids in? Can I foster when a kid that needs a place other than being up in that, I call it a cage, foster system? Can I do this? I'm going to plant a seed. I'm going to help the kid. That kid's going to learn from you. That kid's going to learn about Yahweh. That kid's going to learn about Yahweh Shah. You're going to plant a seed in that kid. Foster is not forever. Adoption's forever. But we can be more engaged in making this thing turn around.
You can. That's what we have to do. In that area. But there's so many different ways, to activate. Because some of them children are indeed fathers. Some of them did lose their some of them did lose their fathers.
That is true.
Okay. So when they lost their father, it's our job as the children, Yahshua, to step in there. That's what we commanded to do. But we think we kind of we exempt because of blah blah or no, we're not really exempt, but we can make an effort to do it.
Yes.
Strongly. The Most High says that when you a man that has taught his son, okay, that taught his son leaves behind somebody that's a threat to his enemies. Meaning that man can still be victorious in whatever plan he set in motion through his son. Like David. He taught his son Solomon. He taught Solomon. Solomon didn't just learn all that on his own.
Right.
Most High came to him later on in life.
Right.
And when he became the king and said, what do you want? He said, give me knowledge that may rule my people. Understanding. Most High gave it to him. But he didn't start out like that. He had to be raised and taught by his fathers.
Yes.
Who wrote over 100-something songs. One of which you can count that for like 30 songs, which was Proverbs chapter 119.
Yes.
With I think 22 verses each, or 8 verses each of each letter of the Hebrew alphabet is the first verse in each of them songs in Psalms 119 in the Hebrew. Right? So he was taught by Solomon. I mean, Solomon was taught by his father David. So we just read that if we sow into the spirit, we gotta reap in the spirit. We have to. As long as you're sowing in your flesh, that's why. Matter of fact, let's go to
Precept.
Good.
I got Hosea 10 and 12. And it says, sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fallow ground. For it is time to seek Yahweh till he come and rain righteousness upon you.
See? Talking about sowing. And what's the first part?
Sow to yourselves in righteousness.
Righteousness and what else?
Reap in mercy.
Reap in mercy. And then sow into what?
Break up your fallow ground.
You gotta break, that's what we were talking about that earlier, remember? You gotta till that soil. You gotta prep that soil. And that's where that ox comes in there. That's when you get the real increase, when you got that ox out there working. And what was that 16 and 4, right?
With the proverb?
The one with the ox.
That was
14:4? Yeah, that ox turning over that soil, man, getting it ready. And what you sow is what you will reap. I seen it, man. I've been watching over 20-something. Everything you sow, man, it is going to come back to you. Don't let nobody kill the spiritual dream, man. People going to try to kill the dream. You got dream killers out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The Most High put and line up with the Most High's word, it ain't no reason, especially nobody else doing it. So the things that we trying to do, ain't nobody else really trying to do these things, man. Ain't nobody trying to go to the Israelites that was taken from America, that was taken from Israel to Africa, and in slavery, taken over to Iraq, that look like any one of us in this room. The ones that's over in Iran. Nobody trying to go to them and teach them and talk to them, to bring them back to Yahweh Shah. Everybody want to post up on the street corner. Like this was the last stop for our people. And you had 5 million slaves that came to Brazil. You had 10% of that made it to America. So America is like the smallest portion of the distribution of the children of Israel. It's just as many Jamaicans, West Indian tribe of Benjamin throughout the Caribbean as we got people in America. And even more so down in Brazil. So we have a larger mission. Mission America, we organized and structured, can be accomplished easily once what? Let all things be done decently and in order. If it ain't done decently and in order, then there's a lot of chaos behind what's happening. Okay? So we were talking about sowing into the spirit with the fruits of the spirit over here. You can't sow with the flesh, with anger, with wrath, with malice, okay, with jealousy, with envyings, with heresies, and sedition. But we have to recognize the structure that the Most High allowed us to establish in captivity for the past hundreds of years. In other words, America is the only place where we have absolutely no community structure at all. It was never like this. It wasn't like this in Brazil. It wasn't like this in Mexico. It wasn't like this in Jamaica. Okay? It wasn't like this over, when you talk about Maimonides, okay, Rambam, it wasn't like this in North Africa. It wasn't like this either in Babylon. They knew what was going on in Babylon. It was counting the years and said, yo, the time is up, man. It's time for us to go. They said, yo, it's time for us to leave. Our 70 years is up. And he gave them parting gift. He said, take some money, take some security, take some jewels, take all the builders you need. You know, we got you. You see? So we have to sow into the spirit. We have to stop. The reason we have, even Paul tells us, let's go to 1 Corinthians real quick. And y'all forgive me for jumping around and stuff like that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. 1 Corinthians 3 and 3. I'll read that out, please.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 3. For ye are yet carnal.
He said, you are yet carnal. Meaning you're still in your flesh. You haven't fully accepted Christ. You haven't fully accepted your house. You know what? You haven't really been born again yet. And it's a process, but we don't know the process because we don't have the disciples walking with it. We learn the process from people that learn the process from our enemies. And when we think we got the process that they push doesn't push the process of the scripture. So the scripture says, for you are yet carnal, and how do we know you're walking after your flesh? Go ahead.
For as there is among you envy.
There's envy. Meaning one person is wanting a position that another person has and wanting to push that person out of that position. That's envy. Right?
And strife.
Strife is the bickering, the arguing, the fussing, the disagreement. Go ahead.
And divisions.
The division. You over there, I'm over here, never the twain shall meet. Go ahead.
Are yet not carnal.
Paul is saying this is a symptom to show that everybody involved in it that's not trying to alleviate that condition is walking after the flesh. And that's why you're going to continue to reap corruption. In the household, there has to be a truce. There has to be a ceasefire. Stop the violence. There has to be that. In the community, in Yasha Allah in general, there has to be a ceasefire. There has to be a truce, but it has to be what? Now sown in the spirit. The fruits right there. As long as you stick to the fruits of the Spirit, what can go wrong? Go ahead.
And walk as men.
We walking as men. And now, now we know he's talking about the bigger picture of organization and body, but we talking about individuals and families. Each woman is doing what she want to do, and each man doing what he want to do. And each one got a reason why they shouldn't do it. Well, I'm the head. Well, it's the right thing to do. But you shouldn't be bossing around and ordering me. Well, why not? Somebody got to take the lead. Oh, for real? Well, if you be the man the Most High told you to be, oh, for real? Mm-hmm. Word? Mm-hmm. Okay. Don't let the door hit you. With a good Lord split you. So now we in our flesh now.
Yep.
What the Most High say? You know what? You can't be no but love. I can't do no but love.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I can't do no but love. Whatever you say is just, I'm like paper, I'm like rubber, you like glue. Bounce off the glue and stick to you. I can't do no but love. You know what? And just you curb it. You curb it. You know, always got to feed that flesh, man. That's the only way that seed grows. What did Paul say? You see, it works in us. It works on the negative side too.
Yes.
Paul said one man planted and another man sowed, but the Most High did an increase.
Yes.
So if Satan planted and another one come and water that plant, now Satan gonna give the increase of it. It works both ways, man.
Yes.
So that's why the scripture said, if you sow after the flesh, you're gonna reap after the flesh. You sow after the spirit, the fruits of the spirit, love, joy, meekness, long suffering. You guaranteed to reap that, man. So if you want a different harvest, you gotta start planting. I ain't talking about, sowing the seed with this $200. I'm talking about sowing the seed by zipping and being loving and being quiet. Not just something now, but staying in that fire. The Most High said that acceptable men are tried what? Where you gonna go in the furnace of adversity? Nah, ain't no running. You're gonna stick this thing out, man. Ain't no running from this. You're gonna stick it out. This is the furnace of affliction. When you know that you can escape, you can go someplace, you can alleviate the situation, then what? Then you ain't in that furnace of affliction. So you obviously must not be as accepted as you thought you were. So you stay in that. Now, sometimes the furnace might get too hot, and you might have some contaminants that get mixed in, with the furnace. Now you might have to remove. Like, I remember I told my rib, like, look, either you gonna be the head or I'm gonna be the head. I'm not gonna be under you. Either we're gonna do it the way I'm saying to do it by the scripture, or we're gonna do it the way you saying to do it, not by the scripture. So if I'm the head, you need to give me submission, period. If it's in the scriptures, and I'm telling you, we need to walk in that way. I got that authority. If I'm not the head, and this is your house, and I gotta go by your rules, I can't really dwell here. But see, that's a trick too, because you can't keep thinking you can get a new crib when your woman don't listen to what you say.